Hey guys, what's up? I was asked to make some videos talking more in detail about the maps on Predator grounds, more specifically from the Predator point of view, how to do things like avoid the fighting from counter reinforcements, which is why I'm going to be showing here a picture of the altitude radio locations on Overgrowth. I'm going to be starting this video series with Overgrowth, so I'm going to try to make one video per map. So each video I'm going to try to cover specifically not just the radio locations and how to try to avoid the fighting from calling to radio, but also some tips and just overall strategies that I tend to do in like all the maps. In the case for Overgrow, one of the OG maps in this game, it might come as a surprise to some people, but this is, in my opinion, the best map for the Predator. I know that there are some very short missions in the game, and mission rushing is a big problem when you play as a Predator. However, overall, the way that the map is structured, the fact that it's small actually helps, especially in regards to the reinforcements. Getting to the fireteam fast, you can cross the map fairly fast, start attacking the fireteam before they can reach one of the camps. There are 3 main camps here, so fireteam starts the game, they usually tend to vote for the location closest to the mission. So if you start the match in northeast, the fireteam is probably going to start the match in northwest or southwest. And from there, they're going to go for the mission. It's going to be usually on the side that they started. So they start the left side of the map. Mission is going to probably be at the north camp or the north middle camp, or it's going to be in the southwest camp. If they start the match in the right side, it's going to be either in the north camp or in the southeast camp. And depending on like which kind of mission is, like let's say, I might even be able to figure. I already made a while ago a video talking about how I can find out which mission of the fireteam is. There are many of them, but like there are certain things like objects in thermal vision which allow you to find which mission is. Here I am in one of the radio locations. The radio locations, as I show in the picture, they usually tend to be close to the camp. So it's gonna be like, I think it's like 6 or 7 in the, so you have like 2 of them in the right, the southeast camp, in the right bottom of the map. There are 2 more in the opposite side, in the southwest camp, in the left bottom of the map, and then there are, I think, 3. One here, close around to the north camp, like in the middle area between the north camp and the southeast camp, and then there are 2 more at the bottom. So we're talking about 7 radio locations, which actually is okay compared to most of them. I don't think it is the best map to prevent reinforcements. That's gonna be derailed, and I'm gonna explain the derailed video. But I would say like the second best is overall the best map for the Predator. But in regards to preventing reinforcements, it's gonna be like the second one, just because there are more. I think there in derailed there are like 6 or 5 radio locations, so there's less to look for. So in regards to radio location, so you kill a fireteam or you kill 2 of them, they're gonna go for the radio. Knowing the locations already helps. The thing is that you might not always be able to go towards every single location before they getting fighted. It is going to count a lot on RNG and just overall luck. Like sometimes, if you stay usually at the middle of the map, by the time the fighting calls it, the reinforcements, you can just rush it there and you'll be able to make it in time. However, if you're like looking for radio locations, like you just went to check on this one, shift the radio is here. If they count the radio at the opposite side of the map in like the southwest camp, by the time that you get there, they're probably going to be able to reinforce, so it's not going to be a go. But the locations are always the same, for those of you that don't know that, but the radio locations are always going to be the same ones that I showed. When the fireteam is up to calling the radio, you can usually spot any. If you see that they are moving specifically towards the area that it's not where the mission is, you already know which mission the fireteam is doing, and you see that they are moving away from it, you can already give away like, oh, they're going to the southwest part of the map, despite the fact that the mission is in the north camp. So yeah, the radio is going to be there. In regards to this the missions in this map specifically, I see that there's noise coming from the north camp, so the bots are here. Let's see if I can maybe, I know which mission this is. This is a mission. I mean, the bots cannot do the mission, so like, but even then, like, I can already tell, because every time you start a game, you start any match in any map, it already starts with a mission. Even if there are no players, even if there are only these stupid bots, there's always a mission. So in this mission here, they need to start a computer. I already played this game so much that, especially in like Overgrowth, Derailed, which are the maps I usually tend to choose for private matches. Yeah, first objective, they have to turn off this computer. After that, they need to go towards this crate, and they're gonna destroy it. They have to call it like an airstrike on this crate. and then they're gonna go for the middle of the map and do that. So for how to find missions as the Predator? Usually in this map, it tends to be very simple because, like I said, the location where the fighting spawns usually tends to be the location that is going to be the closest. They usually tend to vote for it. However, when you go to the camp, you can just check the camps in thermal vision and just find out, see mission objectives. Like I know that this crate is for that. You can see the computer there that I showed. In some of the map, some of the missions they are actually even more noticeable. Like there's the mission where there are like 3 big generators in this camp. And there are only 3 options. There are going to be only like 3 options of camps. The mission is either going to be the north camp, the southwest camp, or the southeast camp. And usually like by the location where the fighting spawns, and also like if you see like there's a camp with a lot of AI, probably the mission might be there, or a part of the mission. There are missions in this map that might require the fighting to go through more than one camp. There's like a full list. I think I posted on my Discord like the full list of missions, but it doesn't take that long to memorize. I usually separate them on missions of North Camp, missions of Southwest, and missions of Southeast Camp. Now, which these camps are the best one to attack? I think that the ones at the bottom are the best one. Probably, I would say probably the missions at the Southeast camps are the best ones for you to deal with if you are the Predator. Just because they tend to have more objectives, like or there's I think there's only one mission which it starts and ends on this camp only. And it tends to have a lot of objectives. All the other ones, they usually come here, then they go to the temple, or they come here and they go to the southwest camp. So it's very rare for them to get a mission which they start the mission here and they finish it here in 3 minutes. Like the missions here tend to be a little bit longer. And while the north camp, that's usually the worst camp to attack. Here, because of the structure, it's hard for me to explain in detail, but the way that the camp is structured here, like with the trees all around it, like the objectives are going to be in the middle, it just feels like a good spot for the Predator. The Predator needs to know how to use the trees, the places around it with advantage. The reason why this map is, in my opinion, the best one for the Predators comes down to 2 reasons. The way that it has a lot of trees, Predators can take advantage of this, especially with Plasma DT Lens gameplay. It's a very small map, so a close map with trees all close to each other. Predator can use this to its advantage, so it doesn't have like any the problem for the Predator in this game are like stuff like rooftops. In rooftops, the fire teams can easily dominate unless they use the smart disc, which works well in open areas, but for everything else the fire team tends to dominate. Closed areas with trees tend to help more the Predator. You can use Plasma more safely. You don't stand out, like the laser doesn't stand out so much. Second reason, there is only one default medikit in this map. The advantage of the fighting, which allows them to survive very long into the game, is all about resources. Predator resources are infinite, like you can always find more piggies. Eventually, fighting resources are gonna run out. I mean, not always, but they tend to like eventually run out. Like usually if the fighting is good, they can finish the mission before they run out of resources. But in the case for Overgrowth, they only have one default medikit. If the mission is here in this camp, they don't have usually default medikits. Sure, there's a possibility of a medikit spawning in this location. However, it's just RNG. Sometimes they're gonna get to this camp and there's not gonna be a single ammo crate, a single medikit. There's only one guarantee medikit in this map, which is gonna be this one right here. So if you just destroy it as a Predator, like usually it screws up the fighting. When I play fighting alone, this map is usually the hardest one. Not just by the reasons I described about like being smaller, and the locations for the Predator attack are usually like okay. Like there are good angles, because in this game, positioning is everything. Like the positions which you attack, positioning is like one of the most important things. Like even, doesn't matter how good you are, if you are in a bad position, a bad angle, you're screwed in this game. A bad positioning for the Predator means a place where he won't be able to damage the fighting well, he won't be able to engage and do damage to them, and it's a place where the fighting can easily damage the Predator. So in this camp here specifically, I think it's great. The trees are all around the camp. You can like go sneak behind the rocks, you can go in the big rock there. There are like very good locations for you to try to shoot plasma from, protect the fighting. Like there's like a lot of the buildings here which you can use as cover. So it's like overall like good way to attack. The north camp is overall tends to be considered the worst one because it has the shortest missions. The 3-minute missions, the fighting can easily get there. At least in this camp, there are some short missions in this camp. However, the fighting needs to come from usually like northwest to here, And usually by the time that they come here, it's like usually a good opportunity for you to get a kill. So it's like not out of bad. And this camp is like, it has good positions to attack the fire team. While in the north camp, it's a little bit harder. I remember like when I start playing private games, Gasp will tell me that, oh, if the mission is in the north camp, I mean, Predator just needs to accept that he's not gonna win the match. And yeah, if the fire team is really good and they are really playing very well, if the mission is in north camp, because of the way that like they can easily camp at that building there, like the missions are very short, usually gives the fire team advantage. Missions in the north camp, when I play fire team alone and the mission is in north camp, I know I'm gonna have an easier time. However, I usually bring medicus. In this map, I always I'm gonna want to bring medicus and ammo because it doesn't have like in other ones a lot of resources. And the fire team, depending on how good the Predator is, the Predator knows what he's doing, he's gonna make the fire team run out of resources. He's gonna make them lose bullets, waste ammo, waste medikits, and then at one point, if he's be able to control the mission objective as well, the fire team is gonna run out of resources. The fire team can always easily outdamage the Predator if they're really good. However, if they don't have ammo, if they don't have medikits, don't have Sirets anymore, they're screwed. There's just like not much they can do against a Predator. Eventually, they're all gonna go down at one point, or the AI is gonna kill them because also AI is in the map. AI number in this map is like, I would say mid. Like I would say maps like Airstrip, the AI amount is actually like worse, like crazy. I always destroy this medikit. And then the fire team doesn't have any more default medikits. The Rayleigh has a lot of default medikits. So, when I play fighting derailed or backwater, I don't always feel the need to bring medikits because there are so many medikits in the map that I just need to use the default ones and I'm good. The fighting, it just feels safer there. Even though there are like longer missions in derailed and backwater, there's a terrible mission in backwater for the fighting. However, if the fighting has trouble, they can always find the resources on those maps. There is like not enough time for the Predator to go and destroy every single medikit or like every single ammo crate on Airstrip. It's impossible. There are like so many medikits, so many ammo crates on Airstrip that is just like impossible. Like by the time that you destroy all those resources for the fighting is gonna have finished the mission and then it's over for you. So overall, just despite having short missions, Overgrowth is the best map for the Predator. Usually the radio locations tend to be like overall close to each other. Here's one of them. If you come here, I would usually either jump on this building here and throw traps, or go in this tree and throw traps when they come. Usually, you need to time it right. I think throwing traps at the radio is one of the oldest tricks when you play as the Predator, like just so you can spawn them. If the fighting is good, he's probably gonna be hiding down here or like running circles in this area here. But I think that most of the radio locations here are overall okay for you to fight the fighting because I would say like the Rayleigh has a location of radio which is inside a building, which is terrible for the Predator. So like I said, positioning is everything. So depending on the position where the radio is, not just the distance which you are from the radio, but also the position of the location of the radio can either help you or make it harder for you. Here's also a good location. Like if the fighting is calling it, if you see the last fighting player here, just use charge plasma from this angle and try to shoot where he is. Like I prevented many reinforcements just by doing this. Don't go down there, because if you come down here at the radio, he just called the radio here. He can just keep running like circles here, because he's just buying time so he can get the reinforcements timer down, so bring the other ones back. So in this location, if you're dealing with like a scout with double time, he's just gonna jump around the rocks and keep like running circles. And depending on what the Predator class that you're using, you won't be able to catch up to him. So I would say like in this area, you just jump here, see where he is, and try to get a direct plasma hit on him. Like that's usually I think that for our locations of radio, usually finding the high ground, finding a high location, especially if it's just like against one single player, like here, usually in this camp, this radio, they call the radio there, and then usually they hide like behind this rock. But if you just jump here, you can charge it and just try to finish him from up here. Because usually if you try to jump up close to a fighting player that is like the last one at the radio, what they tend to do, they can try to fight you, but a lot of times if they're using a fast class, they're just gonna try to avoid you, try to survive, and try to just jump around and try to run away from you until the timer goes down so that the reinforcements happens. Let's see other radio locations. Let's go to this. This camp here has, I would say I think the one here at the actual camp is a little bit worse, just because it's like in more of a closer area. This one here, you just jump into this branch, and usually the fire team player has to stay close to this area here, and from here you can just go with the plasma. Also good angle. I would say, yeah, one of the best strategies to prevent reinforcements is gonna be either getting to the high ground and shooting plasma, or throwing traps. Like, however, in this one, you get up here, like, depending on where the angle are or where the fighting is, I would say I think this is this is one of the best fighting radios, because if he can just scout the radio from here, and depending on where you're shooting plasma from, you won't be able to hit him because the roof is gonna protect him from the splash damage, from the getting like a direct hit. And then after they caught the radio here, they can just run in the stairs here, like keep running like this in circles, you know, or just jump here, jump down, just move around, you know. So it can be a little bit harder for you. Same thing I would say in this one. This radio location, I would say the best approach in this one, you definitely just want to try to go for the tree. Just get on the tree and try to shoot plasma from here. I would say this is like the best way to try to kill someone from here. See where he is and try to shoot plasma. He's gonna try to move around, sure, but still I think it's a better approach than coming down here, because if you come down here, he has a lot of options. He's gonna run from the side to here, try to avoid you, jump here, climb up the stairs. Oh, the mission ended, damn it. Oh, I run out of the timer. But, well, anyway, I think I covered pretty much everything. There's like one more radio location, but that is a very open area, and he also goes for it. So this is just my overall opinion on Overgrowth, like the best tips, like my overall run through about how to play as the Predator on it.